Wilson in the catbird seat, having won 3 out of the 5 games played. The batting order has shifted quite a bit. This is the batting order that Bucky Harris has been gravitating toward as a left-hander started for Brooklyn. He would have used it yesterday, except that hander started, so he went with his other one. So for the Yankees, it is Sternwise leading off at second base. Hitting number 2 is Tommy Henry in right field. Batting third is Johnny Lindell, the left fielder. Joe DiMaggio hit the home run that was the winning run yesterday in that tremendous ball game that young Frank Shea pulled through on 2-1. DiMaggio in center. Billy Johnson moves up to hit fifth, and now here come the changes. Rookie Jack Phillips, who just came to the Yankees the latter part of the season after the playoffs, in other words, just before the playoffs got underway at Newark. He got here just in time to be eligible, which meant he had to be in by all of September. Phillips, the tall first baseman who's also flirted somewhat at shortstop. Phillips, 6'4", 190 pounds, is at first. He has pinch hit once in the series and went out, so he's 0 for 1 officially.
Rizzuto at shortstop.
Not much yet before we have the national anthem. Ali Reynolds, the right-hander. Vic Lombardi, the left-hander, continue throwing back and forth. Now the bullpen contingents are going down. The Dodger bullpen contingent is going out, and it is led by big Ralph Branca and followed by Joe Hatton. So there go, Clyde King is also in there. There are the 3 pitchers going down to the Brooklyn bullpen. As we were on the way up to the box with Mel Allen, we ran into Commissioner A.B. Chandler, and he's quite pleased about this series. It's been a tremendous series, and from every standpoint, it's been great. And the commissioner was doubly pleased with the work of the umpires. He said that he's never seen finer umpiring, and he's delighted with his innovation of putting the alternates down in the foul line corners. And we were talking about a couple of close plays that with umpires down in the corner, they had absolutely beyond question, beyond any realm of argument. So we're very happy to pass that on. Commissioner Chandler is also delighted with the conduct of the players. He regards it the sportsmanship of a high caliber all the way through, and he's just delighted about it all. However, he sort of grinned, and he sort of kid, and he said he didn't understand where all this talk was, that the commissioner got all the seats for the World Series. He said, I'm concerned, I make no secret of it. The commissioner got a maximum of 30 seats for the series. And, of course, out of those 30 seats, the commissioner entertained as his guests and guests of baseball, such notables as Mayor O'Dwyer and Governor Dewey, etc. The batting orders are being released here over the public.
1:45 p.m. BULOVA Bulova Watch Time. Bulova, masterpiece of fine watchmaking. We wish to thank the following sponsors who are relinquishing their regular broadcast periods today in order that we may bring you the 5th game in the 1947 World Series. The makers of Gaines Dog Food, sponsors of Juvenile Jury, usually heard at 3:30, and the makers of Post Corn Toasties, sponsors of the House of Mystery, usually heard at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. The programs for your approval, 5 Mysteries and Word Stories, also will not be heard today. We take you now to Yankee Stadium in New York City.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports is on the air. From Yankee Stadium in New York, Gillette presents the World Series. Good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere. This is Red Barber with Mel Allen greeting you for the Gillette Safety Razor Company as the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees get ready for the crucial 6th game of this 1947 championship series. Gillette is on the air the year round with on-the-spot reports of leading sports events. Gillette also broadcasts the major boxing match of the week regularly every Friday night. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is a magnificent day from the weatherman's standpoint. Each day has seemed to have gotten better and better. This one is even warmer, and there is a little breeze, but it is blowing out toward left field, not enough to be of very much bearing on the ball game. The big crowd is here, just as big as Games 1 and Games 2 that were both played at the stadium. And the big crowd is being handsomely entertained by the clown prince of baseball. Al Schacht is out there in one of his baseball pantomimes. The starting pitchers, I know you want to know that. Vic Lombardi and Ali Reynolds. The same starting pitchers as of Game 2. The announcement over the public address is that of the commentary of the public address announcer that goes along with Al Shack's routine. Now, without further ado, let's go down the bat and we'll stop them early and take our time. So those of you who are scoring, and we understand that a great many of you are writing them down, you'll have a chance to get them down. You all set? Okay. Leading off for the Dodgers as the series swings back to the stadium and makes Brooklyn the visiting ball club is Ed Stanky at second base. Hitting number 2 for Brooklyn is, this moment, is Pee Wee Reese. We thought for a second that the press box had flashed and said they were going back to Robinson, who hit number 2 throughout most of the year, except for a few games, but not.
Reynolds went the distance in his first start in the series. Allowed 9 hits and 3 runs, all of them earned, walking 2, striking out 6. And he's all set to pitch now to little Eddie Stanky, hitting at 188 in the series, 3 out of 16. Time's been called for a moment. Plate umpire Bay Pinelli awaiting some of the Yankee Stadium groundskeepers to get off the field and into the runway in right center field where the Yankee bullpen is located. And so we're all set. Allie Reynolds into the windup. Around comes the right arm. The first pitch of the game is high inside for ball 1. Eddie Stanky leading off. Pee Wee Reese on deck. Jackie Robinson to follow. Bill Johnson laying in close at third in the event of the bunt. Rizzuto a normal short. Reynolds into the windup, throws. Stanky takes. Strike 1, it's called over the inside corner, belt high. George Sternweiss at second, deep on the edge of the outfield grass, over near second, with Jack Phillips playing first base today. Tall, right-handed thrower. He's laying halfway back at first, fairly close to the line. The outfield shallow, straight away, your pitch. Swung on, line down the left field line for a base hit. Lindell races over toward the line, up for the ball, throws into second, and Stanky falls down as he turns first, but hustles back into the bag. And Eddie Stanky leads off with a single to left. Eddie took that turn in a hurry. Time's been called. Eddie Rommel umpiring at first base called time. Stanky shook himself up. He tripped over the bag, rounding it, having an idea that he might try to go to second, although chances are he would have held up because Lindell fielded that ball in a hurry as he went over toward the left field line, fired his throw into second. All right, here is Pee Wee Reese as the Dodgers, game to the core, strike swiftly here in the top of the first inning of the 6th game. Pee Wee Reese the batter. Stanky leads off first. Here's the pitch. Reese takes, and it's high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Johnson laying in close at third again in the event of the bunt. The outfield around toward left. Lindell deep in left field. DiMaggio not too deep in center. Henrik not too deep in right. Phillips holding the bag against Stanky, leading away. The stretch by Reynolds. A look over. Here's your pitch into Reese. It's low inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Allie Reynolds, who wears the number 22 on his uniform, who won 19 games and lost 8 for the Yankees during the regular season, and who won his first and only World Series start, the 2nd game of the series here in New York, and who has lost only 2 games at the stadium all year, all set to work. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's swung on. A bounding ball over the head of Reynolds, out over second into center for a base hit. Stanky holds at second as DiMaggio comes up the ball, throws in toward third, cut off by George Sternweiss, and the Dodgers' first 2 hitters get on.
Won't you all please join me in singing our national anthem, Harmony?
And so this huge crowd of approximately 70,000 has just stood, all except a handful. Mel Allen and I were just looking down out of the box, and we saw some fellas who can't stand anymore. They're in wheelchairs. They're veterans that have been brought from hospitals here, and one boy, as we look down, is flat on a stretcher, on a movable stretcher. I know it was quite a picture to see him before the game, and Mr. Chandler was over talking with him and telling him that he was the honored guest of the day. And it did something to you as the Star Spangled Banner was being played and sung, 70,000 people standing, and to see that kid from a hospital lying out on a stretcher. But he had his head tilted up toward the sky. So people were standing for him, and well, they should. Well, the doctor
still alive. DiMaggio picks up the ball on 2 hops, fires into second, and mixes it on with the shot off Joe Page. Since he came on to relieve in the 5th inning, Page had retired 13 men in a row. And that's the 7th Dodger hit of the ball game. Page had faced 13 men and gotten them all out when he came on to relieve Bevins, after Bevins had been removed for a pinch hitter. And now Bruce Edwards is up, and the pitch to the right-hand batter. Low outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. And these Dodgers are still lashing back. 1 ball, no strikes. Mixes on at first base with a low line single to center. Page has the stretch, throws, Edwards swings and smacks one out toward short. Rizzuto up with it over to Sternweiss for 1. Back to McQuinn, a double play, and the Yankees are champions. And the Yankees come out of the dugout and mob Joe Page, who pitched to 14 batters, starting with the 5th inning, retired 13 in a row, was hit for a single by Eddie Mixis, and then Bruce Edwards hit into the double play, and there Bruce Edwards and Tommy Henrik shaking hands, as if to say to each other, well done, Bruce, and well done, Tommy. And may I say, well done, Brooklyn, and well done, New York. Well done, Dodgers. Well done, Yankees, for one of the most thrilling World Series you've ever seen. And before I turn it over to Red Barber, may I just say, too, as Red did, that it has been one of the happiest times of my life to have been able to broadcast this most thrilling of all World Series for you people. Thanks a lot for all your wires, for your comments, and thanks to everybody. Thanks to the Gillette Safety Razor Company, to the Mutual Broadcasting System, to everybody connected with both ball clubs, Mr. Branch Rickey, Colonel Larry McClellan, Bucky Harris, everybody, including the Stevens brothers, the concessionaires, whose wonderful food made this World Series even more of a delight. Well, Red, my heart is still pounding. And may I say, too, thanks to the Maxon Advertising Agency, who do such a wonderful job, and Ed Wilhelm of the Maxon Agency, and Paul Jonas of Mutual, Carl Jorgensen, our engineer. Red, I know I've left out a lot of them.
Series. Since they lost to the Cardinals back in 1926, and the Dodgers and the Yankees had a rough one and a tough one all the way through. And Joe Page, as finally predicted, became his great relief pitching, slammed the door and kept it shut. As Mel told you, he didn't allow a man to get on once he took over, starting the 5th inning, until the kid Mixis singled in the 9th. And then thanks to the double play, Page faced 15 men to get the final 15 outs, allowing 1 man to get on. He got the first 13 straight, then the base hit, and then came the double play. And it was fitting that for the finale, Rizzuto, who had been such a spark plug and a tower of strength and sure quick-handed at shortstop, started the double play, and Sternweiss, who had played so beautifully at second, pivoted on it and over to the flashing first baseman's mitt of George McQuinn, and the ball game was over. For the Yankees, their 11th World's Championship, 5 runs on 7 hits and no errors. And for Brooklyn, 2 runs, 7 hits and no errors. The winning pitcher is Joe Page, and the losing pitcher is the starting Brooklyn pitcher, Hal Gregg. It's his first decision in the series. And so the World Series ended with Page on the mound and Casey on the mound, and it came right down to the final wire. A snappy double play closed it out, and the Yankees, for the 11th time, champions of the world, and this big crowd, by all odds the biggest 7th game crowd ever, 71,548, now goes streaming to the myriad exits. as the fall warm sun lights up practically all the corners of Yankee Stadium, particularly out in left field. And it's a swirling scene down below, and it has been a swirling World Series. It's been a great World Series, and it will be one that will be talked about for many days to come, one that will be written about by so many hundreds of capable crack sports writers who are here. Mel and I hope that we've been able to send you the plays as they've come up and to keep you posted on the progress of this one with its cross currents. And it is a tremendous, complete success for Larry MacPhail, the president of the Yankees, who in the last World Series that the Dodgers were in against the Yankees was the president of the Dodgers, and they lost. So as president of the Yankees and as one of the part owners with Dan Topping and Del Webb, MacPhail has this big 7-game series come to him. And it's been a tremendous year for Branch Rickey, the president of the Dodgers, who came so close to winning everything that a man could win in baseball. It was his ball club that beat the Cardinals in a rugged pennant race in the National League.